A man's past relationship was summed up in a paradox. I loved her most when I realized she didn't need me. This story shatters the traditional view of love, where we're often taught that love is about finding and filling our other half. It raises a core question. Why does not being needed become the foundation for a strong and unforgettable love? When we think of love, many of us imagine a missing puzzle piece, a perfect half to fill the voids in our lives. But can a love built on lack truly be sustainable? The book Decoding Love Through Personal Wholeness by Cafe Song offers a new perspective. True love begins with a whole self. We often enter relationships with a passive mindset, hoping our partners will mend past wounds and loneliness. This unintentionally turns love into a burden where each person expects the other to be their hero to rescue their life. When these expectations aren't met, the relationship can easily fracture. Instead of growing together, both people are just trying to fill a bottomless pit. True love is built on wholeness. In contrast, whole love isn't about filling a void. It's a journey of growing together on separate paths. When each person is self-sufficient and internally secure, not dependent on the other's approval, the relationship becomes healthy. At this point, love isn't a bond of obligation, but one of absolute respect and trust. Both people have their own space to grow. Love is no longer a sacrifice. It's a conscious choice to create something beautiful together rather than just filling holes. The journey of self-discovery before love. So, to achieve a whole love, what should we do? First, learn to love yourself. Take care of yourself, explore your passions and hobbies, and find satisfaction in them. When you are truly whole, you will enter a relationship with a confident mindset, not to find someone to fill a void, but to create a more beautiful story and a richer life together. Signs of a healthy relationship. A relationship built on wholeness will have these characteristics. Respected personal boundaries. Both people have their own space and don't feel controlled or dependent. Honest communication. Both can open up and share their true feelings without fear of judgment. Mutual growth. Both support and encourage each other to become better versions of themselves. Love can only truly flourish when each person has found wholeness within themselves. And that's a long journey, starting with learning to love and cherish yourself. Differentiating codependent versus healthy attachment. A codependent relationship is an unhealthy psychological state where one person relies excessively on another for emotional support. People in these relationships often have low self-esteem, lack personal boundaries, and constantly seek validation from their partner. They may hide their true feelings, fear rejection, and are always anxious about their relationship. In contrast, a healthy, interdependent relationship is where two individuals value their connection but remain self-aware and maintain their independence. The foundation of a healthy relationship includes equality, independence, respect, trust, open communication, and mutual support. Both people have their own space, pursue personal interests, and set clear boundaries to maintain their inner independence. The foundation of a healthy relationship. To build a whole love, two individuals need to understand and apply the principles of a healthy relationship. Honesty and authenticity are the foundation for sharing everything truthfully and constructively. Mutual respect is essential for recognizing each other's value and cherishing the love you have, while forgiveness helps resolve conflicts based on understanding rather than blame. Another key factor is maintaining independence. Spending time with friends, learning new skills, or pursuing personal hobbies helps each person grow and reduce emotional dependence on their partner. Writing down your thoughts is also an effective way to manage emotions and become more self-sufficient without needing an anchor from someone else. When love becomes a void filler. In a codependent relationship, both people often come together with one sole purpose: to fill a void or compensate for inner shortcomings. Your self-worth is entirely dependent on your partner's approval, leaving you in a constant state of fear of rejection. Personal boundaries are often blurred or non-existent. You might sacrifice your own needs to please the other. When problems arise, blame and avoidance become the natural reactions instead of working together to find a solution. Whole love, growing together. In contrast, whole love isn't about filling a void. It's a journey of growing together on separate paths. When each person is self-sufficient and internally secure, not dependent on the other's approval, the relationship becomes healthy. At this point, love isn't a bond of obligation, but one of absolute respect and trust. Both people have their own space to grow. Love is no longer a sacrifice. It's a conscious choice to create something beautiful together rather than just filling holes. Stoic philosophy and the spiritual foundation of mature love. Stoic love isn't cold. Many mistakenly believe that Stoicism is a dry, emotionless lifestyle that rejects all emotions. However, this philosophy doesn't teach people to reject emotions, but to manage them with reason, focusing on what can be controlled and accepting what cannot. This connects directly to the original story. The love described isn't devoid of emotion, but it isn't governed by codependent emotions like loneliness or the need to rescue. Love based on respect and reason. A person who follows Stoic philosophy believes that loving is more important than being loved. Instead of craving a response from others, they focus on their own kindness and virtue. This can be illustrated by Seneca's quote, "If you want to be loved, then love." This philosophy applies perfectly to love. Love by becoming a lovable person, a person of good character. According to Stoicism, being loved is an external factor which cannot be controlled. In contrast, loving is an internal action, a virtue that can be cultivated. Mature love focuses on giving and respecting, not on receiving to fill one's own void. Love is a Stoic practice. A mature, independent relationship is not a natural state, but the result of cultivating willpower and mental discipline. Stoic philosophy teaches us to manage our emotions and focus on inner virtues. Love, with its intense emotions, is the perfect challenge to practice these principles. When the man in the story faces the woman's independence, he must abandon his role as a hero and learn to be respectful. This is a journey of cultivating courage and wisdom. In this way, love is not just an emotional experience, but a path of personal growth, helping both individuals become more resilient and whole. This explains why such a love is unforgettable. It's not just about the other person, but about your own personal growth through the relationship. The mark of whole love in literature and art. Analysis of classic archetypes. Mature independent love has been deeply explored in many classic works of literature. Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy in Pride and Prejudice. Their journey wasn't about finding a half, but about overcoming pride and prejudice to see and accept each other's true selves. Their relationship is built on understanding and respect, not on illusion. Jane Eyre and Edward Rochester in Jane Eyre. Their love is a perfect example of spiritual equality. Jane would not marry Rochester when he tried to control her or hide the truth. She only returned when he had lost his power and had to face his flaws. This shows that their love could only be realized when they met as equals and were worthy of each other. It shows that mature love is an act of free will, not a response to a need or coercion. This is a profound difference between mature love and conventional connections. Classic literary works always contain deep lessons about love, helping us connect theory with reality through familiar stories. The couple Elizabeth Bennet and Fitzwilliam Darcy in Pride and Prejudice are a clear example. Their story shows that to have genuine love, both people must overcome personal prejudice and pride to see each other's true selves. Mature love requires honesty and an objective view, not influenced by social judgments or subjective thoughts. Similarly, the relationship between Jane Eyre and Edward Rochester in Jane Eyre emphasizes the importance of spiritual equality and mutual respect. True love cannot exist if there is control or dependence. It only thrives when both people are equal partners. Overall, these stories help readers realize that love is not just an emotion, but a journey of learning, growing, and accepting each other. Cultivating inner independence to build a sustainable love. To build a whole love, it's crucial for each person to cultivate inner independence. Spending time with friends, learning new skills, or pursuing personal hobbies helps each person grow and reduce emotional dependence on their partner. Writing down your thoughts is also an effective way to manage emotions and become more self-sufficient without needing an anchor from someone else. It's important to learn how to connect with yourself and be alone without feeling lonely. If both of you are showing signs of codependence, see it as an opportunity to nurture independence and heal the relationship. Mature love is a dual healing process. Signs of codependent relationships, such as low self-esteem, fear of abandonment, and a lack of boundaries, often stem from past psychological wounds. To build a healthy, independent relationship, each person must confront and resolve these traumas. The practice of cultivating independence